Yeah, beat your addiction, live free. Ralf Friedrichs is who you see. Listen in when you're feeling low. Take back your life, today's show. Beat your addiction, live free. Ralf Friedrichs is who you see. Listen in when you're feeling low. Take back your life, today's show. Stay positive, hope, and keep faith. Stand strong against any odds that you face. Put away the alcohol and the drugs. Fill your time with the things you love. Addiction is tough, but it's worth the work. Treat your body what it's worth. Spread positivity, inspire all. If we stand together, we will never fall. I help others see the other sides to life. A sober life, letting go of the strife. So give me a call, I can help. 1-844-4405-HELP. Homeless shelters, hospitals, jails, wherever you are. I am Ralf Friedrichs and I am here for you. 1-844-405-HELP. Change your future, it starts today. Live life to the fullest, never skip a day. Create hope, spread positivity. Beat your addictions and negativity. Ralf Friedrichs is here for you. Call today so we can help you. 1-844-405-HELP. 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 We are here for you. Call us today.
Have you ever prayed but never got an answer, and wondered if God was really there? Did you feel all hope was gone, but in His time He came along and answered the prayer you thought was gone? There is no prayer too small, for God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. Will ask, you shall receive. No matter what it is, I still believe. There is no prayer too small, and even when we fall, He gives us just exactly what we need. There is no prayer too small, for God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. No prayer too small. He always knows what's right. God hears them all. There is no prayer too small. My God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. No prayer too small. No prayer too small. God hears them all.
Hello, my name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an addiction recovery coach and the host of the Take Your Life Back Today show. As an addiction recovery coach, I want to share something with you, and let me be crystal clear to leave an everlasting impact upon you. Just imagine being buried alive. You're in a coffin, but you know you're not dead. You don't know how to get out of the coffin. You think maybe if I just try to bang on the lid, I might unsettle the dirt, and somebody might notice and start digging their way down towards me. Then that doesn't work, so you think maybe if I lift the lid, but the enormous weight upon the lid is just too heavy. You just think you're going to die. This is what it's like to feel at the lowest point of alcohol and drug addiction. You know you need help, you know you can't do it on your own, but you don't know where to turn. In reality, there are people standing by your grave, but again, you think you're going to die. Usually, though, people don't think about death when they're habitually abusing drugs and alcohol. In order to feed an addiction, you have to be great at repressing the fear of death. I often ask you, my audience, did it ever cross your mind that maybe, just maybe, while you're abusing drugs and alcohol, you might overdose and take something that was given to you by God away from you, called life? And if that's not selfish enough, what about taking your life away from the people that love and care for you most? People like your mother, your father, your husband, your wife, your children, your grandchildren. With this, let me leave one last thought. Don't be like the person on these index cards that waited and waited and waited until it was too late. Instead, pick up the phone, dial 844-405-HELP, and let me help you take your life back. For your life is gone. People like Larry Geis from the Geis Academy at 516-458-2741. Larry Geis and I always tell folks like you, it doesn't matter where you came from, it doesn't matter where you've been. What matters is that you're here and you need help today, and you want to make a better tomorrow. Larry Geis can be found at www.odysseyconsultant.org. Larry Geis from the Geis Academy, 516-458-2741. Larry Geis from the Geis Academy. Folks, don't forget to take your slippers off at night. Stick them under your bed. In the morning, wake up, jump off your bed, look under your bed, and there they are. Retrieve those slippers because they're way under your bed. And while you're on your knees, utilize a thing I call knee mail, K-N-E-E mail. Knee mail is your direct line to speak to God each and every day. When you speak to God, let God know that thank you for waking up to a beautiful day, to see streams and waterfalls like behind me, to thank God for a home, for food, for clothing, for family. Ask God for guidance and direction. Ask God for forgiveness and mercy. Walk with God each and every day. Use knee mail. Talk to God each and every day. Put on your slippers now after you spoke to God. Roll your shoulders back, stick your chest out, and walk with God 24/7. Try to do this each and every day to be your personal connection to God, because God has to be part of your life each and every day. I want to talk to you today about teenagers that abuse drugs and alcohol, and here are 10 reasons why they do that. 10 reasons teens abuse drugs and alcohol are often, well, considered the most difficult times for them to do things, and we do have the 10 reasons why they do it. It could be just a tough period in their life. After all, how often do you hear anyone over the age of 30 wistfully say, "Oh, to be 15 again"? Probably never. It's a time of life as teens attempt to navigate the prestigious bridge between childhood and adulthood. One of the most challenging decisions for any age group that's ill-prepared to make difficult choices is whether to start using alcohol and or drugs. On the other hand, adolescence is a time of self-exploration. One could argue that it's perfectly natural and normal to want to try new things, such as getting high or drunk for the first time. However, others would argue, and wisely so, that adolescents, by virtue of their young age and lack of life experience, aren't prepared for the consequences that often follow with those drugs and alcohol. Regardless of which side of the argument you find yourself on, most teens will experiment with alcohol and drugs at some point in their life for many different reasons. Following are 10 of the most common reasons that I came up with. And number one has to be peer pressure. Peer pressure is a powerful force at any stage of life, but especially influential during adolescence, at a time when kids are trying to figure out who they are and how they fit in life. Excuse me 1 second. Hey, no! We're babysitting 2 dogs. How they fit in life. When insecurities can be fierce, the desire to be accepted and liked makes saying no extremely difficult. Saying no can have painful consequences, ranging from being laughed at or mildly teased to being humiliated, rejected, and even bullied. Peer pressure often comes as a devil in the sheep's clothing. The cool kid who says, "Hey, it's just weed," or "It's my dad's prescription, so of course it's safe," or the popular girl who's hosting a party while her parents are out of town, encouraging everyone to drink up and just to have fun. After all, who's going to know and who's going to tell? Number 2, to look and feel grown up. Adolescents often want to be treated like adults. "I'm not a kid anymore" is a frequent mantra, especially when they want privileges that come with age, like using alcohol. It's no surprise that they are drawn to things that make them feel like an adult, older, more mature, more sophisticated. Drinking, smoking, and drug use can all boost that feeling. "Hey, look at me, I'm all grown up now." With those behaviors comes the illusion that one is truly mature and thus can handle anything. Sadly, one bad incident can quickly shatter it and remind them just how young and vulnerable they are. But until such an event, they naively believe that bad things happen only to other kids. They overestimate their maturity and underestimate their vulnerability. Let me just bring this down somewhat. Modeling parents' behavior. Teens that grow up with parents who abuse alcohol or drugs often follow suit. After all, that's what they know, and that's what they see, and that's what they learn. Not to mention, if one or both of the parents actively are using alcohol and drugs, they probably have easy access as the young people to it in their own house. Not only does the apple not fall far from the tree, kids often mimic their parents, whether it's good or bad. Granted, some kids will do the very opposite, that shun all substances, wanting to avoid the very thing that ruined their parents' lives or led to traumatic childhood experiences, such as abuse or neglect. Number 4 is curiosity. Curiosity not only killed the cat, it also can be very seductive temptress. The desire to try new things and explore the world didn't suddenly shut off when puberty commenced. In fact, it often becomes even stronger. Most teens have a lot more autonomy, and some have way too much than they did as children. They're less closely supervised and often left home alone for chunks of time while mom and dad are still at work or out for the evening. The desire to find out what it feels like to get drunk or high, just this one time, of course, can be very strong. Not to mention everybody experiments. I know I did. And so they will also. Can be compelling rationale when they argue with you about that. They'll say things like, "I know you did probably when you were young, Dad." Unfortunately, far too many kids end up in alcohol or drug rehab down the road due to some ill-fated need to satisfy their curiosity. Number 5 is boredom. It's been said that idle hands are devil's tools, and similarly, that an idle mind is the devil's playground. In other words, boredom can quickly get anyone, and especially a restless teen, into all sorts of trouble. It's even worse for teens who have bored friends. Passing the time with few beers or a few hits of marijuana can bring you down to the wrong area. Number 6, self-medication. Teens who struggle with a lot of emotional pain are especially vulnerable to alcohol and drug abuse. They use their substances, just like many adults, as a way to self-medicate. They know that getting high or drunk will, at least temporarily, numb or ease the pain and provide them the means to escape the situation. These substances can also appear to ease the problem. For example, a social, awkward, or extremely shy teen may use alcohol in a desperate attempt to feel more comfortable around other people that are maybe more popular. A teen living in a conflicted home environment may resort to drugs to shut out the world for a while, or at least to make them feel more bearable. Number 7 is rebellion. Teens like to assert their budding maturity and test the limits with their parents. Those with nagging, overprotective, or strict parents often lash out in a passive-aggressive manner. Rather than talking to mom and dad about their frustrations, such as what they perceive as over-strict rules, religious or constant nagging, they may rebel by using alcohol and drugs, especially if they know that doing so will make their parents angry and embarrassed. I have to get closer. Maybe I need glasses soon. Ignorance is number 8. Let's face it, most teens don't know what's good for them and what's not. Not because they're not bright, but because they simply don't have enough information or experiencing. Experimenting with alcohol and drugs often seems innocent enough. In fact, it's often regarded as the sort of adolescent rite of passage. Many teens feel entitled to experiment at the age as if they expected to do so, and therefore should do so. What many don't realize is that neither innocent nor harmless For those who are outside looking in, it seems like everyone who's doing it is having fun, and they're the ones that are missing out. What they don't see and haven't yet learned to minimize or rationalize is that all the vomiting after the drinking, too much, the hangover the next morning, or the sickening "what have I done" morning after feeling when they just woke up in a strange place or realized that the needle they used was dirty. Even worse is finding themselves in a jail cell or mourning the death of a friend who drove them home or drove drunk. The bliss of ignorance can quickly be shattered. Number 9 is to have fun. Getting drunk or high with friends sounds more in the moment. What isn't fun about spending time with friends sharing intensely pleasurable, drug-addicted euphoria or disinhibiting effects of alcohol, the silliness and the slurred words that stumble, the bizarre behavior, all of those things can be very entertaining and make for great stories the next day or down the road. Of course, it's all just good old teenage fun, they'll say, until someone is seriously injured, has to face a judge, or winds up on a cold slab in the morgue. Number 10. This one is the big one. They become addicted. Teens don't use alcohol or drugs with the intent of becoming addicted. In fact, since part of adolescence is still an intact belief that you're invincible, addiction, what's that? Only losers who drink excessively or for years become addicted, right? But not me. That'll never happen. I'm just experimenting, having fun with my friends, or seeking a temporary escape from my crappy life. Oh, to be 15 again and believe that becoming an addict is something that could never happen to them. Talk to your teen. If you're the parent of a preteen or an adolescent, talk to him or her about the dangers of using alcohol and drugs. Don't lecture. Don't condescend. Don't be dramatic. Just talk openly, directly. Talk to your child from a place of unconditional love, genuine concern, understanding, and heartfelt compassion, recognizing the challenges and temptations that are so insidious and prevalent at that age. Understand just how vulnerable and easily influenced teens are. Do everything you can today and going forward on to keep the doors of communication as wide open as possible, so that tomorrow or next week or next year your child will know that he or she has an open door policy with you and can talk to you, can confide in you, and ask you questions about drugs and alcohol. Hopefully by doing so, your teen can avoid the dangerous landmines that devastate and destroy the lives of so many young people. If your teen is already abusing drugs and alcohol, don't hesitate to seek help immediately. Contact an addiction specialist or your local alcohol and drug treatment facility for guidance in confronting the problem and determine the best options for treatment. Make the call today, because tomorrow will be too late. To start the recovery process for yourself or a loved one, call and speak to me confidentially at 844-405-HELP, and together you and I will beat and live with your addiction. Together you and I will learn how to live a sober life. Together you and I will work as a team, and may God bless you.
Have you ever prayed but never got an answer, and wondered if God was really there? Did you feel all hope was gone, but in His time He came along and answered the prayer you thought was gone? There is no prayer too small, for God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. you shall receive. No matter what it is, I still believe. There is no prayer too small, and even when we fall, He gives us just exactly what we need. There is no prayer too small, for God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. No prayer too small. He always knows what's right. God hears them all. There is no prayer too small. My God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. No prayer too small. No prayer too small. God hears them all.
Yeah, change your future, it starts today. Live life to the fullest, never skip a day. Create hope, spread positivity. Beat your addictions and negativity. Ralf Friedrichs is here for you. Call today so we can help you. 1-844-405-HELP. 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 We are here for you. Call us today. The show is over, but your life starts today. Taking back your life's the only way. Keep faith, stay positive, push through. Take back your life, it starts with you. Alcohol and drugs can't control your life. Let go of the negative and the strife. Ralf Friedrichs is the man guiding your way. The show is over, but your life starts today. Call Ralf Friedrichs at 1-844-405-HELP. That's 1-844-405-HELP. We hope you love the show today and tune in next time. Take back your life, today's show with Ralf Friedrichs.